Flame Pearl Swolder?
ERUPTIDON cooks, he cooks.
I can't really think of any good walls right now.
This thing is freaking busted. If you can actually pull that off.
ERUPTIDON was the second Solarburst Loomian revealed to the public, roughly 2 months before the update. Naturally, everyone was very hyped for it, and in terms of PvP, it definitely went way beyond its expectations. If you dig through older messages, you will find that a lot of people hated Magma ERUPTIDON. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. It was considered one of the most overbearing and oppressive Loomians at the time of its peak. Most competitive players were clamoring for a nerf, and even to this day, a handful of tournaments still have it on the ban list. Nowadays, however, nobody's talking about it, nobody's saying anything about it, nobody's complaining, and it's steadily dropping in usage. I've talked to some of the better PvP players, and they all kind of seem to agree that ERUPTIDON is not a big threat anymore. So what happened? Why did Solarburst ERUPTIDON fall off? Obviously, there are multiple answers to this question, but the most obvious one is competition. When you think of all of the Solarbursts today, all of them are very strong and viable, but that really wasn't always the case. First of all, Willbound Metronet, Incarnate Icyghoul, Seascorched Skellig, and Thunder King Joltooth weren't introduced yet. So that just leaves us with 5 other Solarburst Loomians. Despite having Turbulent, Stratosaur didn't yet have any moves to use it with, so most of them were still defensive with Magnify. Lavafy and Krakaloa had no coverage to help its sorry ass against the bulky water types. Flychamp Florent also wasn't very popular, and the Kuda, being a new roamer, it wasn't really accessible to everyone at the time. That just leaves us with Terraform Gastroc and Magma ERUPTIDON, the only 2 strong and easily accessible Soulburst Loomians. As a result, picking your Soulburst Loomian was kind of a no-brainer when you really only had 2 choices most of the time. Now compare this to the modern day. You have 4 new Soulbursts, one stronger than the other, and the ones that have been lacking crawled their way into the meta one way or another. Stratosaur got High Pitch Screech, Krakaloa got Dark Surge, Florent skyrocketed in popularity somehow, and at this point everyone had a Dakuda. I ran some polls in the meta-analysis Discord server, link in the description, and I asked, which Soulburst Loomian do you see most often? 171 people voted on this, and ERUPTIDON appears to still be the 3rd most popular choice with 11% of the votes. Florent and Stratosaur have overtaken it in popularity, while other options such as Joltooth, Icyghoul, Dakuda, Skellig and Krakaloa were not very far off either. I wish I had some data to compare these results to. Or actually, I kinda do. I went on to fellow YouTuber TX Mikaze and watched all of his TLS Season 1 videos. TLS Season 1 was a mega tournament that took place right after the Atlantean Part 2 update. I spent around 6 hours watching everything and counting every single Soulburst used, so I would really appreciate if you liked and subscribed for the efforts that went into this. Out of all of the recorded matches, I was able to find 130 different Soulburst Loomians. Here are the side-by-side comparisons between TLS Season 1 and the meta-analysis poll. ERUPTIDON had a terrifying 40.76% preference rate compared to the modern day's 12%, which is way over triple. You can also see the modern day Gastroc is a far cry from what it once used to be. The fact of the matter is that these 2 simply outperformed all the other Soulbursts at the time. There wasn't any nuclear option able to blow through everything like Magma ERUPTIDON, but also no other ranged wall so fat and annoying like Terraform Gastro. So there was simply no competition over the Soulburst slots. Now I could go on about the history of each Soulburst's viability and explain why they weren't good back then, but that's a topic for another video. Just know that as new slowburs got added alongside some major balance changes, they each found their own purpose in the meta. So everyone was using ERUPTIDON, everyone was complaining about it, and yet Jamie decided not to change it in any way whatsoever. How did it fall off so hard then? The answer is meta adaptation. As ERUPTIDON took the meta by storm, pun not intended, players quickly scrambled to piece together some kind of consistent counterplay to this monster. And what do you know? The bulky water types are here to save the day. Again. Very quickly you would see Luminami, Cleone and Jalusa enter the meta. Funnily enough, all three of these Lumens are weak to ERUPTIDON's Dark Surge, yet they are still the best answers to it. If you've ever wondered why almost every Luminami uses Shade Pearl today, this is where the trend kind of started. It was already a good item on Luminami, however Magmadar ERUPTIDON just forced it on every single one, and we still see the effects of that nowadays. Cleone would also start slotting in Tsunami in its moveset. Tsunami on Cleone up until that point was utterly useless, and don't get me wrong, it still is. But its only purpose is to just kill Magmadar in one hit. And by far the most infamous counter was Jalusa. It was considered the best answer to ERUPTIDON, since it didn't rely on an item like Luminami, didn't need to compromise its moveset like Cleone, and also didn't have to invest hardcore into bulk thanks to its ability Enchanted Coat. Smart, clever Enchanted Coat Jalusa would quickly overtake the competitive meta and go on to become one of, if not the best Loomian of all time. And of course, it would be dishonest of me not to mention other less popular ways of countering Magmadar ERUPTIDON, such as Aqua Body Aqualoss and Aqua Body Deldrix. While not as common, they were still very much valid. Not only can these Loomians switch in multiple times and it hits, it keeps the opponent constantly guessing. Should I Dark Surge expecting Cleone switching in? Or should I do something else in case they try to stay in and punish me? And oh boy, not getting the prediction right will cost you dearly. Finally, later down the line, we got the weather summoning abilities, which was terrible for ERUPTIDON. Heavy rainfall weakens the power of fire type attacks, and Deldrix already resists all of ERUPTIDON's moves, while Dense Fog completely removes the ability Pyro Pro, and a clever Chronix can easily tank a landslide. As such, Magmadar ERUPTIDON turned from Ooga Booga funny Hellstorm go click 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 to something that actually takes a tiny bit of skill to use. It took a while for its usage to drop, but it was getting lower and lower each month. Now, it's finally time to talk about balance changes. More specifically, future balance changes, because at the time of posting this video, nothing has happened to Magmadar ERUPTIDON. First of all, Lavafine Krakaloa will exchange soul moves with it, meaning Lavafine gets Hailstorm and Magmadar gets Eruption. While Eruption has higher base power, the side effect of Hailstorm is extremely overpowered, and losing out on that is a devastating blow to ERUPTIDON. Second of all, I didn't mention this in this video, but your Snack is probably ERUPTIDON's best partner in battle, and this combo is hated way more than Magmadar itself. However, there are some heavy nerfs coming for your Snack. The ability Tank will be popped by entry hazards, such as Icicle Trap and Barbs. The move Baffle will be reworked to become a clone of Ancient Roar. Having your Snack get destroyed like that will inevitably affect ERUPTIDON as well. The future is looking very grim for Magmadar, and only time will tell if it remains viable. Right now, however, after testing it against some very strong tournament players, I can confidently say it's still very solid. Still, that doesn't change the fact that it dropped massively out of usage, Other Soulburst Loomians have become way more popular, and that it's looking at some very heavy nerfs coming with the PvP rework update. Before ending this video, I want to thank fellow YouTubers TXMikaze, Joshua Star 77, Beijizel, and Nekomato for allowing me to use clips from their videos. I also want to thank the meta-analysis team for helping me put this video together. If you want to join the Discord server, link will be left in the description. Thank you so much for watching all throughout. This video has taken a lot of effort from multiple different people. If you want more stuff like this, then, like and subscribe. If you also want to argue against something I've said in this video, I encourage you to drop a comment. That's it from me though. Hopefully, I'll see you next time.